There's something that Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are synonymous on, and that is to equivocate. They're constantly equivocating on topics. They never give a straight answer. That's what it means to equivocate. And when you're unwilling to make a decision, and intentionally, you go back and forth between two choices. That's what they're doing, and it's because they're afraid to upset. They're trying to please all their voters. They're trying to win both sides. How can you win the Democrats and the Republicans when you're running as a Republican, and how can you, vice versa? You have to equivocate. And that's why you can't get any straight answers from a politician. That's why Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are perfect politicians. But America doesn't need any more politicians. Amen? We need solutions. And it's very interesting that Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton offer no solutions. They constantly are vague. They're constantly are evasive. They're always constantly avoiding a straight answer. And the main reason is because, first of all, they have no intention of doing anything. The other reason is because they don't want to annihilate, either side of the Democrat versus the Republican. They want to win both sides, so they have to constantly equivocate all the time, and that's why it can be kind of frustrating listening to a politician, because you want a straight answer. You want them to give you something, some substance. You want them to give you something that you can find hope in, something that you can at least feel confident that they at least are willing to say that they're willing to make a commitment. Did you notice how that at first Donald Trump, he came out of the gate, just saying that we're going to build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for that wall. Well, did you notice he's not saying it anymore? How long has it been since you've heard Donald Trump say Mexico's going to pay for the wall? He used that at the beginning. But he's got to win both sides. And there's all kinds of views and all kinds of different points that you'll see that he and Hillary Clinton, and it's not altogether that they're vacillating, because they both have an agenda. But to win the votes of the people, they have to equivocate. They have to constantly, it's like the Lord said in His Word, why do you halt between two opinions? So, that's what we see when you have a people that are double-minded or half-hearted, and they're not willing to fully serve God. They equivocate as well. They'll go back and forth, and not be willing to serve just one interest or serve the Lord Himself. So, you got to be very, how do I say it? You got to really be a puppet. You really do. You have to be a puppet on a string, so to speak, to be a politician. And to some degree that takes an element of humility, because you have to, in one sense, be selfless because you're willing to be a puppet. But then there's the other side, which is that huge green eye, or that one eye that we see on the pyramid, or we see on the dollar bill there, that one eye, which is the eye of greed. That's why it's on money, by the way. And, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are all about the money. That's what it's all about. And that is really the only solution that Donald Trump has offered at all. Recently, the evangelicals asked him the question. They said, what are you going to do about the poverty in America? What are you going to do about the racism in America, the civil unrest? What are you going to do? And Donald Trump said this. He says, I can sum it up in one word. And he said, jobs. And everybody in that closed room, that closed meeting, closed door meeting, just started applauding him. Because we have this mentality in America that if you have a problem, throw money at it. Just throw money at it. It's so much so that when you have debt in America, you just get more debt. Throw money at it. But the problem is when you're throwing money at the problem, or should I say you're throwing money at the debt, we know, even as just the common person in America, just a regular citizen of the United States, just a regular person, we know to have a budget, to be able to keep a proper, to be able to balance your books, so to speak. You and I both know that you'll never get out of debt by adding debt. We know that. It's like you pay off your credit cards with other credit cards. You're not going to get, it's not going to work. Not too long ago, and I say this to my shame, I can't believe I did this, but I was just so naive, I guess. Not too long ago, I was trading my car in for another car, and I didn't need to get a loan because they were giving me back like $2,000 plus my car would have been the trade towards the newer car, plus they were giving me back $2,000. So I didn't need to get a loan. However, I did have a debt on a credit card, and the interest rate was very high on that interest rate. I mean, really high, extremely high. And so what I wanted to do is take that $2,000 they gave me back, plus enough to pay off the debt on the other credit card. I thought, well, this will be my opportunity to get out from underneath that debt. Well, what I wasn't thinking about was they're going to use my car as collateral. They're going to make that. I'm going to have a lien on my vehicle, and I wasn't thinking about it at the time, but they're slick. I'll tell you, banks are very slick. So it's amazing how that here I am, debt-free, $2,000 in my pocket, and I've got a car, completely debt-free. But now I try to pay off another loan, get it paid off, get it taken care of, got a lower interest rate because now it's just the loan's gone. Now I just have this loan on my car, which is a way lower interest rate. But not realizing that now I got a lien on my vehicle. Bad move. Bad move. So, banks don't care if they've got your money because it's not altogether about the money to them. To them, it's more about, and that's why they're willing to take the risk, because they've got your property. It's not about the money. Did you hear what I said? It's not about the money. They want your car. They want your house. They want your land. They want everything you've got. Are you listening, people? You say, where does that come from, Brother Joseph? Go back to the scripture where it said that Ahab coveted a piece of land that was owned by Naboth. And he owned everything around him except that little piece of land. You would think he'd be happy, right? He owns all that land. He's the king of Israel. He's the king. He owns it all. But this little tiny piece of land that was an inheritance that God had given to Naboth down through, his forefather, he passed it down from generation to generation. This is land that was promised to God's people. And Naboth was not going to give that piece of inheritance up. He wasn't going to give up that land. Well, boy, Ahab was all angry about this. He was like, man, I really want that. He was sad. I mean, it really was bothering him. He's got everything, but he still wants that little piece of land. And so all of a sudden, Jezebel comes in. She says, well, why are you so sad? He says, well, look, I got all this land out here, but you see that little piece of land over there? Naboth owns that. And he's not going to give that up. It's, that's an eyesore to me. I want to own it all. I want to look out and say, it's all mine. Right? And so Jezebel says, well, okay. She walks away like Hillary Clinton for Bill Clinton. And she arranges for Naboth to be killed. Are you listening? Not just to remove him off the land and get, no, she killed him. She had him killed. And she comes in, she says, arise, O king, be glad. She said, Naboth's dead. That's your land now. You own it all now. It's all yours. And that's exactly the way Donald Trump is. When he was building a golf course over in another country, there was this one man that had a piece of land he owned with his own property, his own house and everything on that land. And Donald Trump offered him a sum of money for him to sell out so that it wouldn't be an eyesore, is what Donald Trump said. He doesn't want this to be an eyesore. And so basically the man said, no, I'm not selling. I want to stay. And so, Donald Trump was very upset about this. And he's done this a number of times. He will actually do some pretty terrible things, pretty rotten things to get what he wants. And so, really, if you think about it, Hillary Clinton is a Jezebel, has the Jezebel spirit, and Donald Trump has the Ahab spirit. I used to say that Bill Clinton had the Ahab spirit, but really, if you think about it, it's really Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton that are in bed together. And so Donald Trump says, okay, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll run for president as a Republican, and I will win the vote, get rid of all the other candidates that could be problems for you, and then you get what you want, Hillary. I'll make you president. I'll help you get to be president. But you're going to give me what I want. And what is it that Donald Trump wants? Well, I believe Donald Trump wants the whole skyline of New York. And he won't stop till he owns it all. See, he doesn't want to just look out of his ivory tower in New York and just see some of the buildings are his. He wants to look out over that as it's his empire. He owns it all, see. That comes from the ego, that inner sense that too big to fail, that inner sense that I can't lose. I must win. It's the epitome of pride. It's just, it exudes from Donald Trump. And so you've got this Ahab Jezebel spirit working right now in the Democrat and Republican parties that are literally trying to dominate this country. And it's interesting because, really, folks, if you think about it, I'll have to go ahead and cancel the rest of this broadcast for right now because someone decided they want to make noise outside my door. But it's really interesting to see this Jezebel and Ahab spirit rising in the land. It's really interesting. But we'll come back to this. God bless you.